what is it that Israel is doing positive so that it will be rewarded for becoming an observer member of the African Union? There isn't really anything, and that is what the African countries are saying. The Israeli government has no positive attitude at all. Not only that, the African Union has its own principles that they are for peace and justice, end of occupation, end of discrimination, and end of apartheid. Look at the Amnesty International report. Only 2 days ago, Amnesty International has explicitly stated that Israel is an apartheid state. The Human Rights Watch report, what did they say a few months ago? That Israel is an apartheid state. What did B'Tselem, an Israeli foundation, what did they say? They said that Israel is an apartheid state.
About the Biden administration, what have they done? Are you disappointed?
President Biden made a huge jump and a serious departure from the Trump administration.
They haven't delivered, Mr. Prime Minister.
Not yet.
There's a lot of talk, not much action, to be blunt.
Not yet.
You're still hoping that this...
We are still hoping that they will move forward, but frankly, while the reality on the ground is deteriorating, you know, Mark, the Biden administration believes in two states. The question for us, if you do believe in two states, how do you preserve the two states from it being eroded? What is needed from the Biden administration and from the international community is to protect the two-state solution.
Is it still alive? Seriously. I mean, I know there'll be a meeting of the Palestinian Central Council, probably to discuss the issue. Should we stick to two states or say, well, let's forget about this?
I think you are right. The reality on the ground, there is, as I said, systematic destruction of two states. At the political level, it is still possible, it is doable. There are so many fait accomplis that Israel has created on the ground, including settlements, that can be reversed. So politically, two states is still alive. On the ground, there is systematic destruction. What is needed is a third-party intervention. United States, the quartet, to really come up with a statement to protect two states, not only as a statement, but also to push the Israelis to stop destroying the two-state solution. And I think that is what is lacking at the moment. Because there is a Palestinian consensus about two states, even Hamas. There is an Arab consensus about two states. There is an international consensus. If you go to any European capital, everybody speaks about two states. So everybody believes. It took us 50 years to make the idea of two states an international consensus, Arab consensus, and a Palestinian consensus. The issue is that by all means, if we miss the opportunity for two states, we and the Israelis are slipping into a one-state reality. Israel does not want two states, and Israel does not want one state. All what Israel wants is to maintain the status quo. We all know that the status quo is unsustainable. You cannot sustain it because it is a deteriorating reality. So therefore, we are hoping that the quartet will hold a meeting very soon, call upon Israel to stop these sort of measures that are destroying two-state solution, and then come up with a totally different scenario. Otherwise, we and the Israelis are slipping into a one-state reality in which by all means, we are here in Africa, by all means, Israel will be an apartheid state. Not only by action and policies, but by de facto and by de jure. And that's exactly what all international organizations are saying. So Israel has to decide. They want to continue to be an apartheid state, or they want to sit down with the Palestinians and end the conflict.